Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Wednesday, August 20th, around 11 p.m. Mountain Time, 2025. We've had a long day, and so has India. Massive flooding due to heavy rainfall. We're going to cover this for you in just a minute. Also, we've got live updates on Hurricane Erin as she continues to increase, is now approaching Cat 3 as she hovers offshore of North Carolina and the Outer Banks. Keep calm. It's boom time. I want to ask for all of the healing prayers you can muster tonight. I've been in the ER all day with Leah. She has a large blood clot in her leg, and they're now transporting her to Durango for emergency surgery in the morning. So I'm asking for all of your prayers this evening, and I will update you tomorrow. This will probably be a short update, and I apologize. Hurricane Erin is picking up steam as it edges along the East Coast. Conditions will deteriorate overnight as Hurricane Erin tracks north. Currently tracking north, remaining at Cat 2, just 1 mile per hour until it hits Cat 3 once again. Dominion Energy crews are readying a quick response to power outages, which are going to be happening overnight tonight and into tomorrow along Cape Hatteras here. And here we're looking at Dare County, North Carolina earlier today with the first high tide in the set, and homes were already being bombarded by waves. So homes will be lost on the Outer Banks for sure, even though this storm is way offshore. And you can catch all this footage over at Oppenheimer Ranch Project at Diamond the Dave on X. Here we are over at the National Hurricane Center, where you can see maximum sustained winds at 110 miles per hour. According to the Saffir-Simpson, once you hit 111, you're in Cat 3. And Erin has been intensifying all day. Not a threat to the U.S. directly, but certainly the rip current threat. 44 rescues on Monday alone caused lifeguards to cancel swimming all the way through the weekend. Erin is expected to produce life-threatening surf and rip currents along beaches of the Bahamas, much of the east coast of the U.S., Bermuda, and Atlantic Canada during the next several days. Beachgoers in those areas should follow advice from lifeguards, local authorities, and beach warning flags. Storm surge, flooding, and tropical storm conditions are expected in the North Carolina Outer Banks through Thursday. The storm surge will be accompanied by large waves, leading to significant beach erosion and overwash, making some roads impassable as they began being impassable earlier today. Tropical storm conditions are expected on Thursday along the Virginia coast. Wind gusts to tropical storm force are likely along portions of the remainder of the U.S. mid-Atlantic and southern New England coast Thursday through Friday. So heed the warnings and get out of Dodge. Here's the current position. Well, actually, probably here. Right off the Outer Banks, will rapidly move away by Friday. Here we are, Saturday. It's gone. It's up near the Maritimes there. We've got another tropical storm that's moving into the picture, but we're not on the 18Z. Let's get there. So let's move this through for you. Yeah, there is that second storm right behind it. Much smaller than Erin and maybe a direct hit to Bermuda. Bad news there. So currently on the models, it's a direct hit to Bermuda Monday, August 25th. And that is just 5 days out on the models. So Bermuda better be buckling up for a direct hit from a very tight Cat 1 storm, maybe Cat 2. Who knew? Now you do. I apologize. My mind is really elsewhere. Here is the full forecast. Dangerous surf and rip currents along the East Coast beaches. So stay away. I'm talking all the way from Maine down into Florida. Just don't do it. Tropical storm conditions, storm surge flooding, and coastal flooding will continue into Thursday across the Outer Banks and into portions of the mid-Atlantic coastline. Life-threatening rip currents and high surf will continue to impact much of the Atlantic shoreline through the end of the week. Hazardous record heat will continue across the western U.S. through the weekend. And that brings us to some of this massive flooding due to heavy rainfall in Junagadh, Gujarat, India, and this was today. Take a look at this. Well, that certainly is some extreme moisture. And while the climate change retards have no idea what's actually going on, you people who watch this show know this is all due to increased atmospheric moisture, which is blasted into the stratosphere in January of 2022 when Hunga Tunga erupted. And the stratosphere is still oversaturated by 50%. Yeah, you could see that. Parts per million is very high. Here is the normal pattern since 2004, and you can see how the stratosphere has become supersaturated, which is why we get these major 100, 500-year flooding events again and again and again. I can assure you in a few years this will end because eventually this moisture will dissipate. So that's good news there. And some people are worrying about Mount Rainier, but the seismic activity has ceased there. There is no uplift, so there is no imminent eruption. Thank you, Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. Seismic update. We did have an interesting quake earlier today in Tennessee. It's now off the map, but overall, low-level activity worldwide, except for some frac quakes down here in Texas. The nexus of the schmexis. And that brings us to worldwide volcano news. Quick look at Campi Flegrei. A lot of people still fear-mongering about this volcano. Couldn't be further from the truth. There was a major uptick in seismicity this year, but nothing is imminent. There is nothing imminent. This is the last 48 hours. This is the last 7 days. We'll take a look at the last 14 days. Here's 30 days and 1 year. Yeah. So there was an uptick 6 months ago, some other upticks, but activity is now waning at Campi Flegrei. Good news there. And the rest of the erupting volcanoes for today. Simadu. Who knew? Now you do. 15,000 foot blast there. And I'm not going to go before that because they gave the monthly updates. So it's a short list today. Sangay on the list, volcanic ash. Santaguito also, sporadic ash. Popo to 21,000 feet. Fuego, no further volcanic ash detected. Krasninikov in the Kamchatka, Russia. This is the ancient volcano kicked off by the 8.8 magnitude earthquake that happened a few weeks ago now. Flight level to 10,000 today. Raventador, volcanic emissions detected. Dukono to 6,000 feet. Liwotobi to 8,000 feet. Ibu to 7,000 feet. Popo to 20,000 feet. Continuous volcanic ash emissions likely at Sangay. Santaguito, no volcanic ash has been emitted. And that wraps up worldwide volcano news for the day. And that brings us to space weather. You could see we had a major plasma filament ejected off the southeast limb. Take a look at this. Huge plasma filament. Had this been pointed at Earth, well, we would have no more YouTube. Good news that Earth-facing quiet is king. This is an amazing eruption of plasma responsible for a bright coronal mass ejection that is heading away from Earth. And we do have some video here. Let's take a look at that. Watch this boom. Holy macaroni. That is a lot of plasma. And so an event like this, Earth-facing, would be the end of the modern empire. So we're hoping that doesn't happen anytime soon. And as we head into solar minimum, well, there are no sunspots, but that was a filament. So filaments will remain on the disk. And good news that that happened on the limb. Earth facing quiet is king. We've got an uptick here, a recent rise in density, so maybe we could get back into geomagnetic storm, but that coronal hole stream event is now over officially. And that's a boom to knowledge. Guys, the only thing I really care about is my partner, Leah, Shaper. Yeah, more than anything in the world. So your prayers for the next 12 to 24 hours will be helpful. Pray for us. Hit the thumbs up, share the video, and be safe. We love you. And that is a boom.